Turn the sound down. You can hear how you sound, can't you?
No.
Well, you got. It's the same thing as headphones.
What do you mean? The sound's on. Nothing. It's not gonna play through it because you're here.
I'm on the Twitch.
We are live right now.
LeBron's a stupid.
Whoa. Watch yourself, dude.
What'd you say?
He gets suspended?
No.
Yeah.
He was fine, yeah.
Check. I forget.
I'm real.
Huh?
I'm real.
Why?
Dude, what is this chat replay? I'm trying to watch this shit live, man. Well, there we are. I was just trying to watch this shit live, man.
Dude, again?
What? Just fucking thing of ice.
What if there's rain?
Man, we took my pen, so I gotta keep it moving.
Are you watching the ad right now?
No, I'm watching this.
Are you watching the ad right now?
Oh, yeah. I ain't subscribed. Dude, when you subscribe like on a month subscription.
Yeah. It's not like a monthly. It's not a yearly thing.
It's a monthly, yeah. I'm like, oh, fuck this. I ain't paying for this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Batman.
How many people we got in?
Shit, I'm showing 0 on my screen.
We are trash. One beer. We need a big W here with the AFC.
You said Duke's at 10:30?
Lots of time.
Huh?
Duke's at 10:30?
Yeah. You're pending.
Lots of time.
I told you this table wasn't level when playing poker.
It's really not.
Whew.
You good?
Yeah.
All right. You ready to go?
No. What do you mean, dude?
We gotta go, man. It makes it easier for me to edit this way.
Relax and chill out, though.
No, it's not.
Is Matthew ready? He ain't even ready, though.
Are you ready?
Nah, he's still finishing.
He's good.
Don't put the pressure on the man.
He's good. I'm gonna start the countdown, boys.
No,
Do
dude.
it. You can do this without the countdown, man.
How long we need? How long we got?
A minute.
All right.
Calyx go crazy.
Welcome to the Gridiron Guide. It's your boy, the Fantasy G.
What up, though? It's A2.
What's up? It's Matt.
Boom! We out here, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We got the three of us out here doing a nice Week 12 mid-season recap for you for the NFL. We will go into some other stuff for you as well, but you know what I'm saying? Before we do that, y'all saw that message in the beginning. Follow the socials. We out here for y'all. So we appreciate the love. Yeah, hit us up. This is also our first show in front of a live audience. You know what I'm saying? Aaron, woo, cheer for us, dog. Yeah. Boom, we out here. So we got one live one day. You know what I'm saying? We'd like to have you live. All right, let's jump right fucking into it, boys. Fantasy breakout. By the way, Ed, before we start, Kenny was supposed to be here. Where is he?
MIA. Missing in action. Kenny's not here right now, but we got three of us here first time in person in a long time, so it's been good to go here. This is going to be our, like I said, mid-season recap of just the start of the season so far. So for our little round table, Joe will start us off, the fantasy breakout.
Boom, fantasy breakout. You know, I'll let you two go first, then I'll go over my expanded list.
Okay, so you got expanded. Well, let me go first.
Because y'all know that it ain't the fantasy G if I don't got more than one pick.
Yeah, you're right. So, all right, I got a couple of picks, but I know we're all going to have similar players. I'm gonna go with Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor coming to the year, I had him ranked right outside the top 10. I think that's where his average draft position was going to be, and now he's performing like the RB1, taking over for Derrick Henry, and he's averages 5.8 yards a carry, 13 touchdowns, obviously on the year, and he's already matched his really close to matching his year rushing total that he had last year, and we're only in week 12. So Jonathan Taylor's my breakout player of the year.
Yeah, I think he's on pace to lead the NFL in rushing. No one's really in competition with him.
Well, yeah, once Derrick Henry got hurt.
Yeah, and then Zeke slowing down touches and whatnot. I also had Jonathan Taylor down, but I'm going to switch over to a little bit to Deebo Samuel, a guy I've been high on for years. Just staying healthy in the field is the biggest issue. I thought the breakout of Ayuk last year that we'd see less Deebo. And right now, he's been basically a top 5 receiver. And whatever format you're on, he's around 1,000 yards already. So he's basically been like the surprise guy. You can get him, what was it, like the third wide receiver on your team on the initial draft board. So to me, he's been the guy who's been a huge jump from that fringe player to breakout player. He's mine, Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, I had him outside the top 40 receivers. So yeah, right around.
George got some more stats on both those guys. I know that. What do you got here,
his
George?
ADP Deebo was projected the 35th overall wide receiver. Yeah. He's currently the third best wide receiver with a bye week, averaging top 2 wideout numbers.
They also gets rushing yards.
And
that's true.
Yep, double digit every single game in the model of consistency this year. For Deebo Samuel, he's gone below 16 fantasy points twice, but still over 10. So phenomenal at wide out there. Who else did you say?
Jonathan Taylor.
Not on my fantasy breakout list. I'll go on him later. So I won't go over this guy because I know Matt's gonna. Could be Jalen Hurts, QB1 so far this coming into week 12. He was projected to be the 12th best quarterback. I wasn't high on him. Aaron wasn't high on him. Not sure about Matt.
I had him quarterback number 14.
I had him where there was a big group of guys. If you didn't get the top guys, maybe top 8 guys that really hammer for Stafford, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is something I love in fantasy quarterbacks is they get rushing yards. And since he's come to the league, he's been the most consistent rusher. I'd say even ahead of Lamar Jackson. And just to me, that's just easy fantasy points that adds up. It's on passing stats. If he goes 8 carries for 80 yards, that's just as important as having 3 passing touchdowns. So to me, I love Jalen Hurts. I love mobile quarterbacks, whether it's Cam back in the day, whether it's Lamar Jackson now, or Jalen Hurts now. I love Jalen as well. I just didn't know how the offense is going to run. And the last, 4 or 5 weeks now, they switched to a run-heavy offense.
Yeah.
So I think you could foresee and put these numbers the rest of the season.
Yeah, I thought, people would figure him out. People, he kind of had some inconsistent games, but the rushing production alone, he nets.
He's a very high floor.
Minimum 8 points a week. Not minimum, but around, at least 8 a week from rushing.
He's getting about 10 carries a game. So.
Yeah, but that's not my fantasy breakout. Another guy I just want to touch up on real quick. Hopefully I'm not seeing any thunder from y'all later in the show, but Jamar Chase, his 26 overall wideout. You saw in the preseason he was struggling with drops. We all fell off of him. But he is wide receiver number 7 this year so far, having a phenomenal rookie season. Below 13 fantasy points only 1 time. So he's also been very consistent, paid off, that about 4th to 5th, 6th round, wherever you got him at.
Yeah, there's a lot of concern with Chase. He said preseason a little struggle. He sat out last year at LSU. But going back with Joe Burrow, the LSU connection, Joe Burrow also had some concerns that he tore his ACL last year. So it's good to see a rookie receiver, which technically really struggled. I can't really think of many guys that broke out. Maybe Jefferson last year, Odell, his rookie season. Yeah. Rookie wide receivers do tend to struggle with the transition. So it's good to see someone like Chase be a top 5 pick that really come to his own already. And we're seeing that even with Chase, Cincinnati can produce 2 good receivers as T. Higgins has been solid as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyone else, George?
But that's not my fantasy breakout. My fantasy breakout, Cordarrelle Patterson.
Okay.
Cordarrelle Patterson. What does he have, different than, Jalen Hurts, Deebo Samuel, Jonathan Taylor, Jamar Chase? What's different about Cordarrelle?
Not drafted.
1, he wasn't drafted.
He plays 2 positions.
2, he plays 2 positions.
Yeah.
Yahoo does give him wide receiver and running back
eligibility. Doesn't, which is terrible for him.
3, it's his 9th season in the league.
Like
and this is his really first fantasy relevant season. That's crazy. He's hanging in with the young guys for this fantasy breakout spot, but he's currently the number 10 wide receiver, the number 8 running back, and that's with having, missed the last 2 games and having a bye week. So Cordarrelle Patterson has been very good this year. He 9.7 the first week, over 15 points in the next 7 games. So he's clearly Atlanta's kind of best playmaker in the season that we all thought Ridley would be dominant. Pitts would be
dominant.
You know, very above average for a rookie tight end. But Cordell Shine is easily the best Atlanta Falcons offensive and fantasy player.
Oh, for sure.
Anyone else got there? Cordero, I guess I'll transition to. He's my fantasy surprise. So I was writing the same thing with you. I don't know how many more stats I have than you have. I saw him get signed by Atlanta. You know, a cheap, like 1 or 2 year contract, veteran player, almost like a third down back role, and he jumps into a top 10 running back. It really surprising to me. Like you said, at his age, at his production, his whole career, I didn't see this happening. Atlanta's been kind of a mess this year, but he's been a benefactor of the whole Julio leaving and Ridley situation. So it's definitely good seeing a breakout at any age. And like I said, for me, I would never surprise that Cordell Price can be good. This is insane to me.
Yep.
So fantasy surprise, I actually put a downer on here because even though I do have a dud to still talk about when we get to that part, but my fantasy surprise is legit Antonio Gibson. Like somebody that I think a lot of people were high on. A lot of reports that he would get a lot of usage as a third down back.
McCaffrey comparisons.
I think George, was pretty high on him. I think I had him pretty high as well. I have to check the rankings that I had in a second, but just surprising how usage he's been in the passing game. Super touchdown dependent or yardage dependent. The offense isn't really a high end offense, so to have a running back that's not involved in the passing and the running of the game is a fantasy surprise for me and an NFL surprise. So
I wonder if he was a direct benefactor as well as Alex Smith's return. There's a lot of checkdowns, so him and McKissick would rack up some catches.
Well, it's legit that he's not even in the game.
In this offense, it just seems the Heineke it's a little more just sporadic in the way the targets. Even Scary Terry has up and down games. So I don't know if it's just schemes or what, but Gibson was someone again, second year in the league. We all thought he'd make the next jump, just like Jonathan Taylor, same category. And you can see he's almost regressed a little bit, where Taylor's ascended to that top level running back.
Yeah, and I had him as my number 13 running back, so which is RB2 range. So yeah. So that's my fantasy surprise on the bad side. I'll give you a good one later once we.
I got one more surprise, and he's missed the last few games. Only played 5 games this season, but mine's Antonio Brown, another old guy similar to Cordero, where I thought that he was done or be a very marginal role. Maybe throw him in if Mike Evans or Godwin gets hurt. But even with them playing, he was averaging about 6 catches, 85 yards, and a touchdown per game, which that puts you right up around 20 points a game, puts you right on the top 10 receivers in the league. So for me, that's a guy where I thought I'm not saying he's done, but his consistent production and his chemistry with Tom Brady, it shows that AB still has it. And there was one touchdown off the top of my head, remember, he just really outran the defense. And some 33-year-old receiver, I didn't think he had into him. So to me, AB when he's healthy is a must start now.
Oh, definitely. Him and Gronk, honestly.
Yep, was ranked behind Evans and Godwin, but when he's been healthy, I'll produce them both.
I think he has 25% of the targets when he plays.
Yeah. Look at Godwin's stats with AB and without him. A lot better without him because when he's in there, Tom Brady's favorite target.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I got 2 fantasy surprises for you. The first one, John Connor? James? I don't know.
James Conner.
James Conner.
Yeah.
John Connor, Flint rapper.
Isn't John Connor
Terminator? Also the Terminator.
But
Flint rapper and fucks with John Connor. So, since week 3, he's played 9 games. He's averaging over 17 points a game. TD every game but one. 13 total touchdowns, which is the second most in the league behind Jonathan Taylor. Top 10 overall running back, John Connor. I said he was a bag of rocks coming.
James
Connor, damn it. Arizona running back. I thought he was trash. Thought he was a, bag of old rocks, old dirty socks. But he's been producing.
I think I told you week 2 or week 1 to pick up Connor. Eventually,
the first 2 weeks he did struggle.
Yeah, but it was just the fact that Edmonds, just wasn't that guy.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this next guy, but I'm trying to make sure we are on the same page as far as I can talk about him. Yeah, Cooper Kupp.
Fantasy surprise.
No,
So this is the surprise is number one. He's the number. He was the number 1 player for those couple weeks. That was a surprise because you would think that in their offense that they would like to spread the ball around. So so for me, when we first did the rankings, I had Woods ahead of Kupp. But the surprise is just that Kupp was just the number 1 wide receiver, just for weeks 1 to 8, I believe it was, or something like that.
I'm gonna save him for later for
Oh, that's fine.
Later in the show for me.
That's fine. You can talk about your later. I just want to get that in before. I had to make sure we were on the same topics before we get to the fantasy duds. Unless George has some more surprises.
Of course, I got one more.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah Mitchell. Tell me why.
Yeah.
If you would have guessed Week 12, he averaged more points a game than Saquon Barkley, David Montgomery, Antonio Gibson, Myles Gaskin, who sucks, Carl Edwards, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Chase Edmonds, Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams.
Well,
I would have said you're stupid, you're trash.
I would say a lot of these guys you're bringing up, though, like, they are starting caliber. Like, I would start Barkley. I would start
I'm talking, but
they had injuries, though, that kind of limits them on some of their usage, as well as they get hurt early in the first quarter. They drop a 0 or something. That hurts just in points per game. I would say for you, the biggest surprise would be that he's the starting rookie running back and not Trey Sermon.
That's the biggest surprise. That's a busy NFL surprise for sure. Is that Trey Sermon's not starting or he's not even playing, and you draft him third. So either Trey Sermon sucks, which isn't true, because when he played, he had I think he had 100 yards in one game, or didn't he, or 96 yards?
I think it's just a Shanahan thing. I mean, even look at Mike and his running backs in Denver. Even Alfred Morris in Washington, the Shanahans, they really like the undrafted guys. The guys just go in there unheralded, do exactly what they want them to do week in and week out. I think Arian Foster's another one, I believe, was in Houston for a year or two with Kyle Shanahan.
Mm-hmm.
So they like these guys that maybe are unheralded, under the radar, maybe at the top tier metrics you want to see, like in 40 time or splits, 3 cone drills. Yeah. But they just, there's downhill. Like I watched the Rams 49ers game, Mitchell just takes like the breath out of the defense every carry running downhill.
Yeah.
So I think he stole that job maybe in training camp, whatever. They always say the draft's one of the biggest crapshoots. You're not sure what you're going to get. And I think from the get-go, they saw that Elijah Mitchell is definitely a starter, would fit their system perfectly.
Well, they had it from everybody, even their beat writers, so that's good.
They had Mostert ahead of him, Sermon, they had Jeff Wilson.
That's the thing, too, though. When Mostert will never stay healthy, but if he does, he is like a running back one. He just can only play like 3 games a season.
Yep. Yes. But a couple other things. 17 plus touches a game in 5 of the 7 games. So they're, like you said, they're feeding him the rock. He is their workhorse running back. He thought they'd use 2 running backs. He thought Mitchell and Sermon were the running backs of the future. The way it's looking, Elijah Mitchell is the running back of the future for the 49ers. 7 games played, he's got over 7 points in every game. So for a rookie running back, doing real good. I think Elijah Mitchell is the fantasy surprise this year. And you got him undrafted. You picked him up after week 1.
Yeah, after week 1.
Nobody saw it coming.
Right. Yeah, he was a hot waiver ad for sure. Well, fantasy,
him and Cordarrelle, both.
Oh, well, yeah, they're both in the week 1. Fantasy duds. I'm gonna let Matt go first. I got one of mine out of the way. I have another one. Actually, no. Let me go first. I think George's gonna say this guy.
Go for it.
This guy that George loves, still loves to this day. Allen Robinson, biggest fantasy dud. I think I had him. Yeah, George doesn't want to hear that one, but Allen Robinson, I had A-Rob ranked as wide receiver 8 to start the season. Just that we thought that the offense would look a little different, especially when Fields got in. You kind of see Matt Nagy. It's kind of one of those things where Nagy was forced to draft Fields. He wanted to draft somebody to help him win now.
That's he's trying to save his job.
Yeah, so in week 1, I think he had 10 or 11 targets, and ever since then it's been 4 or 5. So he's just been not involved, and it's a contract year, which is very strange.
It's surprising to me with A-Rob is just he's had poor quarterback play in the past, whether it was Nick Foles, whether it was Trubisky. Like he's not a consistent quarterback, especially in the accuracy department. It's the same coaching staff they had in the previous seasons, so you wouldn't think play call would change. Yeah. He never had a drastic injury. Last year he's one of the fantasy studs. Like he's a guy you got like as a wide receiver too, and he produced like top 5 wide receiver numbers. I agree with them as fantasy dud, and now that he's hurt, I think he's almost going to just like mentally check out from the season. Yeah, Bears are struggling. He knows he'll get paid regardless.
It's kind of like that Kenny Galladay when he just
exactly. I think it's the same. That's a perfect example. I think what the situation is for A-Rob. I'm gonna stick with receivers. I really hammered these 2 guys in the 2nd, 3rd rounds of my drafts, but I don't have any numbers on them off the top of my head. I still they don't even play anymore, and that's AJ Brown and Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley's obviously going through some mental things, so I hope he gets better, gets over that. But even when he was healthy, he was struggling, so maybe it was a lingering thing. And then A.J. Brown, I don't know what's going on with him. When he's healthy, he puts up 4 or 25, and then now he's out again. I already saw he's out this Sunday. So to me, he's a guy that's going to break out into the best wide receiver in the league or right up there, and he is not produced at those numbers at your draft position. Really's a little different circumstance, obviously, but still, when you're putting a second-round draft pick on somebody in fantasy and then they miss half the season, you got to label as a dud still.
Yeah, I had him ranked as wide receiver 11 coming into the year.
Yeah, I had him pretty high. Calvin Ridley as well. I think we, pinpointed Ridley getting maybe 200 targets this year.
Yeah.
I hope he gets better.
I had him at wide receiver 5. I mean, I think we might see him later this year.
Yeah, and then
hopefully, sure.
I picked him up. Somebody dropped him. I'm sure I'll put all my cash on him. But also with AJ Brown, I'm pretty sure last game alone he left and came back. Into the medical tent out about 3-4 times.
Yeah, yeah.
I got sick of seeing the notification.
Fantasy, we know, is one of those things with the best abilities, availability. Like, I'll take a guy who puts up 13 points a week but plays all 16 games versus a guy who puts up 25 when he's healthy, but he's never healthy.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that really starts to, it gets scary. And he had the foot surgery last year, AJ Brown. I was hoping that pulling through the injury, he put up great numbers, that him being healthy with Derrick Henry at running back, with Julio pulling coverage now. Well, now all three are hurt. So it really hurt Tennessee offense, really hurts your fantasy scoring. So to me, I want the best for AJ Brown, but he's just really struggling for me.
Yeah, he's struggling out there for sure.
Yeah, we'll see. It was a hot trade acquisition, from week 7 to week 10.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully he can get healthy and help the Titans out because they need it.
Yeah.
So my fantasy dud, Allen Robinson hurt. Was definitely was high on him. Still am high on him with Andy Dalton as a starting quarterback because when he's in and Dalton's in, he will produce. Maybe not where he got drafted, but he'll produce better than Fields. Fantasy dud, Antonio Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
Hate to say it. You know what I'm saying? Had such high expectations. If he got the usage, he should be a beast. But the last 5 games, he's only had 1 game over 8.4 points. And in that game, he was probably on their bench because he played Tampa Bay. He got 21.
Yeah.
I know he was on my bench. The first 5 games, you were kind of happy to see his points, but he wasn't looking good at all out there. But the first 5 games averaged 15 a game, 11 touches every game this year. So the volume is kind of there. If you watch a play call, they give him a halfback draw up the middle a lot of the time and he just gets contacted in the backfield. But less than 4 yards a carry.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, again, 3+ catches in 8 of the 14 games. This year, only 2 of 10. J.D. McKissick, Aaron's boy, is fucking really hindering him in the 2-minute drill. 3rd down running back. They get down a lot early and throw it every play, but I'm hoping Gibson can have some nice fantasy points, fantasy usage down the stretch.
I'm just really surprised because Gibson was a wide receiver in college. So I don't really understand how they don't use him on 3rd down plays. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But I also don't coach in the NFL, so I wouldn't know.
And you've seen McKissick have productive games, though.
Yeah.
All right, let's switch gears here. Let's go from duds to MVP.
So fantasy MVP. So I guess it's still similar to the breakout. For me, it's breakout player. But if Derrick Henry's able to say her, I was gonna say Derrick Henry because the guy you drafted high and he's producing for you, and he's not really cause you too much issue. So for the fantasy MVP, I try to look for guys who kind of either stood up to their average draft position, or beat it a little bit, or beat it. You know what I mean? Jonathan Taylor has not failed, but I'm going to go with Austin Eckler.
Okay.
Because I didn't mention him in the fantasy breakouts because Eckler's always been a good fantasy performer. I believe I was pretty high on Eckler. I think Matt was pretty high on Eckler. This guy in the middle was not. But I had Eckler as fantasy 3 running back, and I think he's still holding that value. And it's not just the PPR value. He's scoring touchdowns like crazy. He's rushing the ball really well, and he has a really good offense going for him. So you drafted him probably 1st round, early 2nd round, and he's pretty much producing for you. So well, Austin Eckler.
So I guess I'll say I agree with Eckler as one of those MVPs. To me, he's more of like maybe a breakout because he's consistently doing this for like the first full season. Finally,
I guess he hasn't been hurt yet. So.
Yeah, and it's always good. Like I had one of the leagues we have together. I ended up getting Taylor and Eckler, so they're good, like late round targets. But I'm gonna go with my guy Cooper Kupp as the MVP. I told Aaron, we did the preseason show, as I said, Cooper Kupp, every over for his stats, hammer them. Stafford and him had the repertoire in practice and the training camps that he's the guy that I didn't think he'd be doing this good, obviously, but he's definitely got a hammer. Right now, he's on pace. If this was a 16-game season, he'd be on pace for 136 catches, 1,800 yards, and 16 touchdowns, all of which are top 5, like all-time stats. He's a guy week in, week out, gives you 20 fantasy points, 10 targets. The production will stay there with Robert Woods gone. I don't see how he's not the guy. And you're getting him late teens, early 20s, mid-20s for your drafts. There's nothing better than an elite receiver. We've seen it with Michael Thomas. We've seen it with Julio Jones, Antonio Brown a couple years ago. Yeah. These are the guys you can safely count for 20 points a week. It's great to have that.
Yeah, he's putting up those numbers for sure. Almost like Devontae Adams last year.
Yeah, very similar. You count on 25 points. Just put it in.
Definitely like they have that relationship for sure.
I also had Jalen Hurts. We already touched on him.
Yeah, we already touched on him.
I just put because, again, 20, 25 points a week, depending on your score, maybe 30. You just lock it in. It's just a reliable MVPs to me, you guys. You can rely on every single week. There's no lows. Either lows or a 15-point game. Give me Jalen Hurts. The last guy I have for MVP is Justin Jefferson. He's really gotten hot recently, but he's definitely moved in the top upper echelon of receivers. I love Justin Jefferson. I think he could be a league winner, as we've seen down the stretch. The guys you count on, the guys that break out, consistently getting points, even with having Delvin Cook and Adam Thielen taking away some targets.
Yeah, I would say Justin Jefferson. I think I was reading a PFF article, and it was saying that he was top 5 in every category that made sense. So average depth on this route, target percentage, air yards, the stat that I love, receptions, and also passer rating thrown to him. So those are all important things.
And I think he, even last week, got robbed of a touchdown where he's a yard short. Those will add up, of course, this season. But to me, he's week in, week out. Pencil was a top 5 receiver with Cooper Kupp. Just reliable guys. Adams and our guys, reliable guys. So, like you said, anytime you draft someone in the top 2 rounds, they produce top 2 rounds numbers or elite numbers, MVPs.
Yeah, sure.
Yep, Justin Jefferson, wide out number 6. Love to hear it. Cooper Kupp, wide out number 1. I would have had him as my fantasy MVP, but I knew he would take it. So, touching up on him, currently wide receiver 1, he's averaging 4.5 fantasy points more than the next closest wide out.
That's Cooper Kupp.
Yep, which you got him in round 5-ish. So, love Cooper Kupp. Definitely, like I said, the fantasy MVP based off where he was drafted. Probably 5th round. Matthew said, high 20s, but that's him drafting him. Everybody else is drafting him way later.
Yeah.
He was projected to be the 19th best wideout. Robert Woods projected 15th best.
Yeah.
So
that's one I never understood too. Just being a Rams fan, so I have some bias, but I never understood how Robert Woods is always ranked higher in Kupp. Not just this season, but in general. If you actually watch the Rams games, Cooper Kupp is always the go-to guy. Even with Jared Goff, Cooper Kupp's the go-to guy. Both guys could be solid fantasy options. I just didn't really understand how consistently the rankings always had Woods as higher up. That one didn't make sense to me. It's also the reason I told you guys just to hammer Cooper Kupp this year. He's ready to go.
It's crazy that Cooper Kupp and Devontae Adams were the same draft class.
Same draft class?
Yeah.
That's crazy. And Kupp was like
28, 17.
Kupp was a 3rd or 4th round pick.
No, he's later than that, though, wasn't he?
He's 3rd or 4th round.
Adams was 2nd round, I think, or 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah.
George, anyone else MVPs? I know you have a long list here.
Aaron Rodgers?
Yep. No, dog. Not fantasy.
Justin Herbert, though.
Nope. Jonathan Taylor. Aaron said him earlier. Since week 4, boom, throwing the pen. Whoa, we're done with it. Since week 4, he's played 8 games. He's averaging over 29 fantasy points in those 8 games, at least 1 touchdown, and over 100 scrimmage yards in every game.
Yeah.
The guys that tank, you know what I'm saying, Derrick Henry, they played twice this year. I think Taylor outproduced them both games. Obviously, Derrick Henry's down now. Jonathan Taylor's taken over that number 1 running back spot.
And you look at it, too, the top running backs right now, we'll say, like Dalvin Cook, he's usually banged up, usually misses 2-3 games a year. Kelvin McCaffrey in Carolina's missed a few games now. We have Henry's out for the season. Kamara's missing some games. So these top tier running backs, Zeke's definitely lost a little burst. He still puts up decent fantasy points. But to me, Jonathan Taylor now is the most consistent guy you can look at to be that top running back, whether it's DFS, whether it's the rest of the season for fantasy, whether it's rankings for next season. He catches the ball well. He gets the usage now. He has offensive line there. I think Jonathan Taylor now has ascended himself into that upper echelon of best running back in football.
Really quick, I was going to say something. DeAndre Swift was surprised me for a second. But then realized how inept the coaching staff is in Detroit.
That offense,
he kind of just fell off.
It's not all his fault, but yes, he does.
It's like when he has the ball, I think he was having PPR crazy numbers, rushing crazy numbers, scoring crazy. So it's Taylor and Swift same draft class. Around, I think Taylor went first before Swift went. But yeah, those. I guess you need to start looking for those rookie running backs on those young deals. That's why I think people like Najee Harris and Michael Carter, who's now hurt, but he was taking over that starting job with New York Jets.
People forget that DeAndre Swift killed somebody this year. So that's a reason why he fell down our draft boards.
Yeah, okay. Forget about that one. You got another fantasy MVP?
No, Jonathan Taylor. Cooper Kupp was my other one.
Yeah, well, Taylor was mine, but I already missed him as a fantasy breakout. But I still think with the Austin Eckler just performing at those numbers that we expect him to.
So Austin Eckler, real quick, was going about 7th overall. You know what I'm saying? Jonathan Taylor was going after him. He's better. Eckler's not a fantasy MVP. Jonathan Taylor is.
Okay.
Fuck Eckler. I'm still pissed.
Let's jump to team surprise.
Let's go to the team surprise.
Good or bad?
Yeah.
Who surprises?
Right. So let me go first. I'm gonna rant really quick. Detroit Lions team surprise. They need to listen. They need to fire Dan Campbell. This is gonna be my stance here. The dude has literally lost in 3 games this year. Now, do I want the Lions to win a game? Yes. Do I want them to not have the number 1 pick? No, want to have the number 1 pick. But they could easily win 3 games this year. 1 game being, bro. Have you ever seen a team be penalized for calling timeouts back to back? Have you ever seen that?
I think I saw it once when they first did the rule, but I haven't seen it in about 10 years.
Right, because you know why? Because people are fucking smart. They know how to call 2 timeouts back to back. You can't do it in Madden. They don't let you do it.
True.
It wasn't him though. It was the D coordinator.
Communication is terrible. Okay, all right. And then, have you ever seen someone on the 40 on your or the opponent's 48-yard lines? You're in plus territory. Granted, it's 30 32. Have you ever seen someone run a draw play? Like, why wouldn't you try to get a 10-yard pass that gets you in field goal range? Dude's terrible. Fire the guy. That's my team surprise. It's horrible.
Wait, I'm sorry. You're surprised at a team that was the favorite to go 0-17.
They weren't the favorite to go 0-17.
Okay, well, right there, everyone knew it was the Houston Lions.
Listen,
that has Jared Goff, who's winless as a quarterback without Sean McVay as his head coach, who has no receivers, who's a whole new defense, who brings in Dan Campbell, first-year coach, and you're surprised that they're 0-9-1?
Yes, because they
Lions fans.
No,
unbelievable.
I'm surprised. Hey, I'm surprised they got a tie. You know what I'm saying?
Surprised they got a tie. They should have at least 1 win. Yes or no?
They should, but
debatable.
Am I surprised that they don't have a win? No, not at all.
When you watch the games, or when you don't watch their games. When you watch the games, and you see that they're winning against Minnesota in the 4th quarter. But
Kirk Cousins on the sideline.
Kirk Cousins has missed up the fucking Packers.
Captain Kirk is known for his 4th quarter comebacks. Aaron, come on, dude.
Okay.
Everybody's winning the 4th quarter.
Anyway, the Lions are fucked because what's going to happen is they're going to fire the guy. They're not going to draft the quarterback this year because all these quarterbacks suck dick.
Well, Rattler.
No. And then the year after next, we're going to have Stroud and Young and maybe Rattler when he gets his shit together. You want to be anywhere near a top 5 pick to draft one.
So you think the Lions are going to jump from worst team in the league, possibly 0-16-1 to playoff contender next year?
No, they're not going to have a top 5 pick next year.
Hey, but see here's the crazy thing. Like, I think Dan Campbell's doing a great job because that Lions roster is ass.
Okay, he's doing a great, but he can't. This is my thing.
He's been competitive in how many games?
Yeah. So there you go. You are
5 games.
So you are surprised that they had a chance to win 5 games.
Yes.
And it's so fucking stupid that they lost those 5 games that they had a chance to win.
Not really. You know what I'm saying?
They had the fucking Ravens.
Show the comment, dog. Teams play to their level.
Listen, I want to hear that shit.
When you go and playing the Lions, you ain't worried, dog.
I don't want to hear that shit.
You just, this is going to be a cakewalk.
Nope.
They played the Baltimore Ravens, arguably a Super Bowl fucking.
No, they're not Super Bowl favorite.
Oh, yeah, they are.
No, they suck ass.
Oh, yeah. They're top 8 to win the Super Bowl.
So, in George's defense, it took a record field goal for the Ravens, who are the AFC North leader.
You know what happened? It also took
Was that Dan Campbell's fault, too?
Yeah.
That Tucker made the field goal?
Right?
It was his fault he had a chance to kick the field goal.
What do you think this guy is? Bill Belichick? He's a rookie head coach.
Hey, you know who else was a rookie head coach and won the game? David Culley. So you telling me that the Texans?
Who's David Culley?
The coach for the Texans.
That guy's not a coach. That guy's not a coach.
Okay, well, listen. So you mean to tell me, so would you rather have the Texans roster? Name me one player on the Texans roster you'd rather have.
Larry Tunsil.
Name me one player on
Brandon Cooks.
Tyrod Taylor.
Over DeAndre Swift?
Yes.
Tyrod Taylor.
Brandon Cooks for Swift, yes.
All right, go to your shit.
Tyrod. Hey. Point, Aaron just needs to relax. Lions weren't expected to be good this
year. It's too close to the heart. It's too close to the heart for Aaron.
Yeah. The fact that the Lions are competitive is a surprise. Yeah. Aaron's right.
Yeah. I'll agree with that. I'll give you that. The Lions are competitive.
That's what I'm saying. They're
competitive.
They should have won at least 2
They
games, 3 games.
Yeah, but see that they could have wins,
But he
but
still wants
nobody
to get
expected them to get wins.
Fire the guy, bro.
If you expected the Lions to get 7 wins, then
I
yeah, I'd
did.
be surprised that they got 0.
No, I
But
didn't.
if you expected them to get 0 and they got 0, what are you surprised about?
I didn't expect them to get 0 because I
All
didn't
right.
bet them to go on
All
17.
right, next team. What do we got?
Matthew, you go, because
Then we got the Rams. Move on to George.
Whoa, this guy's
Aaron
rattled. Oh my
Dean.
God, someone bring in the lefty. Get this guy a mound visit. Holy, this guy is out here right now. No, my first one's actually Kansas City Chiefs. I thought the revamped offensive line with Humphrey, I think that's his name.
Creed Humphrey.
Thank you. He is the #1 rated center on Pro Football Focus.
Yes, he is.
They traded for Orlando Brown. They signed Thuney from the Patriots.
Thuney. Yep.
So they revamped the offensive line, which was an issue in the Super Bowl last year. I thought O'Leary actually looks decent for his injury. I thought this was the season that Kansas City again continues their dominance, makes another Super Bowl run, another AFC title game. They look to be on that track maybe now, but they had some bumps in the road for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I thought them being 6-4 right now, that they would be at the 8-1, 9-1, best team in the league, blowing teams out. But for me, this is the first time I've seen some chinks in the armor for the Kansas City Chiefs. That was surprising to me. They're no longer the oh yeah, they for sure won, money line -600, add them to your parlay. They look a little shaky. My other surprise would be the Tennessee Titans, just because when they lost their heart and soul, Derrick Henry, I thought that would really just mess up the offense. They went on beat 5 straight playoff teams from the previous season. They completely destroyed the Rams. They beat the Chiefs, they beat the Bills, but in a negative note for a team surprise as well, they lost to the Jets and they lost to the Texans.
I'm about to say that.
Which I don't get how they can beat those teams and lose to those teams. Maybe it's just playing your competition, but that to me that's all around team surprise Titans.
Yep. So real quick before I go into the Titans, the Kansas City Chiefs, they had one good game last week, and everybody thinks, oh, the Chiefs are
They're
back.
back.
The Chiefs are great. The Chiefs are the best team in the league. I disagree. Their offense is definitely a problem. Their defense has been carrying them the last 4 weeks. Do you think you'd ever expect that week 12 of the season?
Their defense, the one year they won Super Bowl versus San Fran, their defense turned around the playoffs when Tyrann Mathieu and Chris Jones got healthy, and those are the guys you're seeing make plays last week. So to me, versus Cowboys, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then even versus the Raiders, they're starting to step up too. So those are their linchpins. As long as those guys are healthy, playing at all pro levels, I think the Chiefs defense will be okay. And then you assume that the Mahomes offense will put up enough points. So I don't know, but yeah, I agree. Their defense has stepped up, but to me, it's not a surprise. I think they get a little overshadowed. They're not that good when their Super Bowl runs. The defense actually was very strong.
The defense gets better towards the end of the year. Only problem with their offense is they're a little bit dependent on the deep pass, and they fall and they're used to being able to hit those deep passes. And when teams run those cover too deep, they're not gonna let you do that. So you're not gonna see the explosion of points from them anymore. I think they figured it out to where they're gonna have to just slow. They're gonna have to win slow by the game being slow pace. And just take what the defense.
Maybe they'll find it help us for fantasy perspective that O'Leary finally gets the damn ball.
If we're running the ball,
yeah.
Because when he's ran the ball, I mean,
I touched the offensive line. Maybe they actually start feeding the ball a little bit. They're going to double coverage on Kelsey or on Hill, so it'll be less in the box. Maybe this we finally see them say, let's not outshoot teams like a Big 12 offense. Maybe we can actually get the run game going and open everything else up. So, O'Leary, I'm hoping, please just do something.
Yeah.
Like, anything.
Yeah, but let me tell you right now, a team that beat a Jordan Love-led Packers team 13-7 is not going to make any noise in the playoffs.
This is a different team.
Mark my words. I don't care.
Yeah, it's a different team.
They're not good.
Who's your?
What do you mean that was 2 weeks ago?
Should be all right.
They beat the Packers 2 weeks ago, 13-7.
They played down to their competition.
3 weeks, and then they won.
Raiders, Cowboys.
Yeah.
They played down to their competition against the Packers. They knew what they needed to do. Not
Next game, George.
Kansas City's trash.
Team done.
Surprise. Oh, we're going team done.
So,
nope.
To me, one surprise.
Team surprise. Team surprise. Now I'll go on Tennessee. The Tennessee Titans, currently number 1 in the AFC at 8-3. Wins over Indianapolis 2 times. Buffalo, Kansas City, the Rams, New Orleans. Rams, New Orleans was without Derrick Henry. Nobody picked them to win those games. Nobody picked them to come to games before. Nobody picked the Titans to be 8-3 and first in the AFC at this point of the season.
Pretty good.
They are my fantasy surprise of the year.
We probably should mention real quick that none of us had them, but I think we should at least mention the Cardinals just for being 9-1, 8-2.
8-2.
Yeah, they're first in the NFC.
8-3.
Regardless, they're always a top team. I think we should at least mention them as like I didn't think they'd be this good.
Yeah, especially with Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins missing
out. Yeah, so and
2
JJ
games,
Watt's
3
out for
games?
season. So I think it's at least to mention that Arizona is surprising that they are first in the. I think it's maybe the NFL still.
NFL,
so I think we should at least mention the Cardinals. If
9-2.
not, we should take this banner down and retire. So we should at least tell the Cardinals.
I was gonna say the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I thought
we expected them to be good. Obviously, that's the most competitive division in the NFL with the Seahawks, the Niners, the Rams, and the Cardinals. But yeah, didn't think they'd be where they are. Did think the Packers would beat them like they did. Woo woo. But you know what I'm saying.
Team duds.
Team duds. Let me go right into it. The Tennessee Titans. They lost to Arizona week 1, got blown out. They lost to the Jets and the Houston Texans. How bad are you? Real bad if you lost to those 2 teams. They got a lot of injuries now. He said A.J. Brown out, Julio Jones out, Derrick Henry out. It's not looking good for the Tennessee Titans. Last 6 games, they play New England this week. Bye week, the Jags should win. Pittsburgh, San Fran, Miami, then at Houston. If they get 2 wins, they'll have 10 wins. There's 12 teams in the AFC right now that are at 500 or better. That's 5 or 6 wins. I think that they could miss the playoffs winning 10 games this year in the AFC.
Who's that?
the Titans.
The Titans.
Well, the only thing is the only difference I'll disagree with you there is that second place in the AFC South is the Colts, and the Titans swept them, which means the Colts actually have to surpass them in wins. That's why
the Colts got 6 wins.
But I know they
the
have.
Colts got 8,
but they have.
The Titans have 8. But who are they going to?
But that means there's a 3-game gap though, because they swept the tiebreaker. They swept in both games.
Mm-hmm.
That means that they have to surpass them in wins. So there's a 3-game lead for the Titans. That's why I think they're safe for the AFC South.
But I see the Patriots at Pittsburgh, San Fran, and Miami all beating the Titans.
Yeah, all losses.
Without Derrick Henry.
Yeah, all losses.
So their wins the rest of the year.
I see 2-2. I see 2-2.
Well, what's funny thing, if they go 2-2, Vegas would be pretty broke because I think 90% of the handles on the over 9.5 for the Titans to start the year. So.
Anyone else you got here, George?
Which I think they'll get to 10, but I do think they'll miss the playoffs.
Which we got? Our duds.
Looking for the Tennessee collapse. No more duds. Boom. On that note, we're on to the NFL offensive.
Whoa.
Hey. Y'all got more?
Yeah.
You only said one.
Y'all
Said
one
dud.
That's all we're supposed to have is one. I'm the only one that's supposed to bring 2.
I didn't say a dud.
We didn't even say it, dud. You just right in the duds.
Oh, you're right. I'm railed. I'm ready. All right, let's hear Aaron's dud.
I'll go Matt first.
Yeah,
let me guess Aaron's dud. The Detroit Lions.
I'll start off with I don't call it a team dud. I'll call it like a side of the field dud, whatever you call it, a position group dud. The Washington defense.
That was mine. Yeah.
Was that yours, really?
Yeah.
Oh man,
no,
go for it.
You did not have the Washington defense.
You added this shit late. You had a team dud late. I didn't put it on my notes, but I was thinking in my head.
He don't got the Washington defense.
I can name another team if you want.
Matthew, go ahead.
I just thought this Washington defense would jump into again top 3 defense, especially for fantasy purposes. Chase Young get hurt, but their front 7 on paper is one of the best front 7s in football, especially D line. They got some strong secondary players as well. Fuller. I don't know what it was. It was Del Rio, the running defense, whether it was Ron Rivera coaching, something went wrong with that. But they were elite last year, and I thought they'd make another jump. A lot of the players are young, whether it's Chase Young, Payne, Jonathan Allen, Sweat. They drafted the linebacker in the first round this year. I thought that they'd make that jump to the elite realm, and they have kind of got pied in the face here. So they don't look very hot. And my last team dud is the Cleveland Browns.
Really?
Yeah, they're 6-5. I actually thought they could win the AFC North this season. They had a very easy schedule, especially early, and then come on the gates 6-5. You can already see they're running on the wall just by watching them play, watching Baker, the Odell situation. It's almost like a dead team. It's almost like there's no energy with them. That they're going to finish 8-9. We'll say 7-10, whatever. But I thought they'd at least be a playoff team, and I don't see any chance of doing it now, especially for how competitive Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Baltimore are. I think Cleveland has no chance in the playoffs.
Yeah, their offense looks worse than last year, but I thought it was just based off the injuries to their running backs. But
yeah, and real quick, Aaron, how you feel about Cleveland Browns, Doug? How you feel about them, Doug?
He's a Steelers fan.
I know. Let him know, boo, dog. Boo their ass. He's a Steelers fan. He don't feel good about the Browns. The Browns should be a lot better. I preseason bet Packers Browns in the Super Bowl. I called it 2 years ago.
They ain't happening.
Didn't happen 2 years ago. It ain't gonna happen this year.
Nope.
The Browns suck.
Nope.
They should be good. I'm an Oklahoma fan. Baker sucks. Get him out of there.
NFL rank or NFL rookie of the year?
Team surprise. Anybody else? Who got it?
No.
Team surprise, Aaron.
We're on duds.
We're on duds.
Duds?
We're past. Okay, I'll do this.
Who you got?
NFL rookie of the year. He stepped out that already. NFL rookie of the year. George, who's your NFL rookie of the year? Offenses or defense? You want to split that way or just go just rookie of the year all together?
So I'll just name the odds. You know what I'm saying? Offensive rookie of the year, Mac Jones. Favorite right now, Jamar Chase second. Those are the top two by far. Najee Harris third. Devonta Smith, Kyle Pitts, Javonte Williams are the next kind of three.
So to George's point here real quick, Jones is the favorite, almost even money, minus 105. Jamar Chase is at plus 125. I actually brought up to Aaron about a month ago that we should bet Mac Jones Rookie of the Year plus 400. Mm-hmm. This is before the Patriots win streak. I just don't see a receiver winning Rookie of the Year. I touched on Justin Jefferson and Odell being some of the biggest rookies break out. But anytime a rookie quarterback plays strong, they're very biased in the voting. That's why I was leaning towards Mac Jones. It sounded like even money. We've seen struggles out of Fields. We've seen injuries out of Lance. Lawrence plays for Urban Meyer, so he's screwed.
Yeah.
I guess, Najee Harris has been very impressive. He's our fantasy guy. You could say he's been very reliable all season, but it's very hard to win the award as a running back unless you're putting up Adrian Peterson numbers or something. So this season, anytime there's a really good rookie quarterback, and now the Patriots are like AFC East contention, playoff contention, everyone's feeding the hype of Bill Belichick and Mac Jones, how he looks very consistent, goes to second and third reads. I almost think Mac Jones now, it's almost his to lose because Jamar Chase now has to keep up his first 5 games of season pace. Yeah. I don't see it happening with T. Higgins, Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd. There's too many weapons, too many mouths to feed. Or if Mac Jones just keeps on doing what he's doing, 200 yards a game, whatever, doesn't make any turnovers, they go 11-5, 11-6, make the playoffs, it's Mac Jones' award.
Remember I said Patriots player playoffs. I caught him when they were 2-3.
Yeah.
You're calling me an idiot.
Okay. I'm also 5-1-1 head-to-head with Aaron and bets.
That's fine. They're all Michigan bets, pretty sure. There's one Clemson bet in there. Michigan's 10-1 against the spread.
Aaron's still pissed about the lines.
This is between Mac Jones, Jamar Chase.
No, it's
100%.
It's going to be Mac. As long as with the Patriots make the playoffs, it's going to be Mac Jones. It doesn't matter about the stats. Remember last year, Herbert and Justin Jefferson between those two guys, but Herbert was a quarterback and he put up insane numbers. Mac Jones not putting up the same numbers.
They have wins. He had 6 wins.
But he had the numbers. He had 4,000 yards.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Jefferson had 1,300 yards and double-digit touchdowns.
So for Mac Jones, it pretty much would be predicated on them making the playoffs. They make the playoffs. Mac Jones has it by a landslide. And the defensive rookie of the year is Micah Parsons.
It's no debate.
And because the media won't let any other rookie shine. Like Stokes for the Packers is good, but
it's also Parsons does deserve it, the way he's playing it now.
Yeah.
He was a guy where everyone kind of ripped on the Cowboys for drafting, quote, another linebacker. Because I think Parsons played inside linebacker at Penn State. But he's so fast. He's such just off the edge they have him at. It's just such a difference maker. You've seen him rack up, I think it's 8.5, 9 sacks, that range right now. We've already seen him cut Jaylen Brown.
Jalen
Smith. And then Van Der Esch might as well be Sean Lee 2.0. He's never on the field. So to me, I didn't mind when the Cowboys didn't get Surtain, they traded down the draft and then took Parsons. I wasn't even mad at that pick. I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I love Micah Parsons' pick, best player available, and he's showing. You saw yesterday on Thanksgiving, and they gave a strip sack. So he's just a guy that stands out to me on tape every time you watch him. You can play him inside, you can rush him, drop him back in coverage if you have to. There's no one even in his realm right now for Rookie of the Year.
Really quick, Sean, in our chat, we appreciate our chat people here live. Penei Sewell has looked pretty good playing both tackles position. He had a nice highlight play doing a double block on a run play. I think he's
I credit Dan Campbell for that.
No, I don't. But I was going to mention that Rashawn Slater
looks good.
Looks really good.
He looks good.
And I think Pro Football Focus has him graded as a top 5 tackle. Sewell is starting to come along there. He has his games, he has his moments, but yeah, Rashawn. So both those tackles in the top 10 look pretty darn good. And both guys who sat out last year for COVID.
This is one thing I'll say for the Chargers I really liked about them for one of my team breakouts this year. They've been very up and down, but I love when they got their weakness was offensive line. You've seen Eckler's been playing a little better. Herbert's got a little better protection. They drafted Slater, who's been a great upgrade left tackle, the most important position outside of quarterback, QB's best friend. And they signed Lindsley from the Packers, and those two have helped really solidify their offensive line. I think it's huge for any young quarterback. It's all about receivers and running backs, getting some guys up front, some meat up front. Definitely has been the biggest benefit has been Herbert, and we've seen his numbers increase.
And those are the 3 most important positions in the game. Left tackle, center, quarterback.
I don't know if I go center, but yes, they do.
Center's a
center
very
does touch the ball every
overrated
play.
position.
They do touch the ball every
Center's
play.
very overrated.
Underrated.
Underrated.
Underrated. George's underrated. Correct
You got it.
George's underrated.
Corey Linsley, number 1 on Pro Football Focus for I think 2 years in a row. At center. Linsley.
Oh, okay. You want to go with your guy?
Go to MVP.
I mean, offensive rookie. Yeah, you guys nailed it. Like you said, Mac Jones. It's his to lose. Obviously, you think Jamar Chase would get it, but last year Herbert, Jefferson debate.
I don't think Waddle. He doesn't even hold like Chase's clipboard right now. So
Waddle's Waddle's
I think
not
he
even
could
in
be
the top 6.
I think Waddle could be a breakout.
He was in the
huge
top 10.
breakout for next year, but
Yeah.
this season his stats aren't there. The QB play's not there.
The stats when he plays with Tua are different.
He was in the
I just
top
don't. He's not going to
10
queue enough. He's not going to queue enough stats for it.
His odds, not top 10.
Yeah.
If Dolphins were a playoff team, it's maybe a little different, but they're not getting the wins. I don't see his stats getting there over Chase's. So to me, Jalen Waddle could be a guy for breakout for next season, but he's not going to touch Rookie of the Year this season.
Yep, and he could have been up there, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, he's trash.
All right, boys. NFL MVP. I'm gonna
go.
Well, let me go first. I think
I'm gonna just read off the top 11 real quick.
Okay.
This is the odds in order: Tom Brady, Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford, Patrick Mahomes, Dak.
We'll tell him the odds with it though. Like
Aaron Rodgers. The odds are too much.
Okay.
These are the odds in order. Aaron Rodgers, number 6. Why? I don't know. He should be higher. Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Jonathan Taylor, number 10 at plus 2,000.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper Kupp at plus 2,500. Number 11.
So I wrote. So this is what I wrote for Jonathan Taylor. I feel like he is the MVP because I feel like he's the main reason. Well, the biggest reason why the Colts are probably going to win their division. That Derrick Henry being hurt, but he's on pace for close to 2,000 yards rushing and I think 20 plus touchdowns. So it's gonna be very hard for him to win it. The only way he'll win is if the Colts win their division and he gets 2,000 yards and some touchdowns. And obviously,
this is a big week for it versus Tampa Bay.
This is a big week for it if he probably shows up against Tampa Bay. Because the quarterback, it's mainly been a quarterback award for years. Running backs are kind of hard for them to win it. So, but I think if he can produce at a crazy level like he's doing now, he has a chance.
I'm a homer pick. I'm sticking with it. I'm going Matt Stafford. He's absolutely terrible on the last 2 national TV games versus San Francisco and versus Tennessee.
Last 2 games.
Yeah.
Both national television.
Yeah.
So I just have a hope that before that he jumped up to like the second odds, almost like 4.5 to 1. Right now he's at plus 850. I just see the value. If he bounces back after this bye week, the Rams kind of restructure their offense. His numbers are still pretty damn good. If the Rams win the NFC West, compete for that 1 seed. Again, this Packers game is going to be huge. Yeah. They get the tiebreaker on them. I just look at the team. If he, at the end of the day, if he wins the Rams with number 1 seed, which is not the question because they already the tiebreaker on Tampa. They beat Green Bay. They tiebreaker on them.
Yeah,
I'm going to play Dallas this season. They could try to catch Arizona in the West first, but if he gets the number 1 seed, he knows he can put up like around 5,000 passing yards, 35 touchdowns. It's very hard to knock someone for that. Even with his struggles in those last 2 games. So to me, at 8.5 to 1, no one else to me is really running away with it. We have the favorites in Tom Brady and Josh Allen, but again, both of them have pretty bad too recently. So
I don't like none of those guys.
So it's open.
No, Kyler I like a lot.
He's missed too many games. They're not going to MVP the guy who missed 4 games.
Yeah. Kyler, I mean, his stats are good, but yeah, he missed.
You got to know how the voters work. Like, I'm going to switch gears for no reason. You're about to talk about baseball for like 10 seconds.
Oh, boy.
They didn't give the MVP he finished 4th in first place votes for Fernando Tatis Jr. because he missed a month of baseball and he played another month of baseball hurt. Yeah. Brandon Crawford got more first place votes. That guy stinks. Tatis had 40 home runs and 30 steals. They tore him down because he was hurt and he didn't make the playoffs. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm thinking the voters think. That's why I'm knocking down Kyler.
Well, those are baseball voters, and they're always assholes. There, so.
I think NFL voters the same way, though. So that's why I'm knocking Kyler a little bit.
All right, George.
And Kyler's at plus 1,400.
He could be a good value play if you want to throw it in there. I just don't see him winning.
But the thing with him, he's out because Colt McCoy's what? 2-1? One starter?
2-1.
2-1 is a starter. Colt McCoy. Yeah, Kyler, you ain't the MVP. Sorry, guy. I'm going with my dog. You already know what it is, baby. Aaron Rodgers at plus 1,100. You saw them lose to Kansas City. The defense played great. They lost 13-7 to Kansas City. With Aaron Rodgers at the helm, You know what I'm saying? He's the best quarterback in football. He's better than Tom Brady. Tom Brady is a better sporting cast around him. That's all. I'll give him the nod. Overall. But
do you think the politics would allow it though, with Aaron's huge struggle in the last COVID media handling? That
COVID toe.
You think that Goodell would hand the MVP to a guy that caused all this
he would
negative public image?
He would be face mask
to the Shield.
But hey, the guy's the most valuable. You saw them, like I said, they put 7 points up versus the Chiefs. Obviously, Chiefs defense has been playing better, but 7 points to Jordan Love. Put Aaron Rodgers in your averaging over 25 a game. I don't know the exact number, but give me Aaron Rodgers. You could say it's a homer pick, but at plus 1,100, what?
Homer pick.
Dak Prescott, no chance.
No chance.
Pat Mahomes, sorry, the guy's been playing like trash. Matt Stafford been exposed the last 3 weeks in a row. Boom, count it this week. He's going to get exposed. Josh Allen sucks. No, he's pretty good, but
he sucks.
He's looked pretty shitty the past 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, too many weeks.
And Tom Brady, the best sporting cast. Oh, let's just win the Super Bowl and return all the fucking starters.
All 22.
Yeah.
I
relax, Tom Brady. You're not
told Aaron, the only guy outside these quarterbacks, I think one of these quarterbacks is going to win it. Again, pick your poison. The one guy I thought had a chance that wasn't a quarterback was Derrick Henry, and he got hurt. But he was the only guy I thought.
But Taylor's put up Henry numbers, though.
Yep.
He's not getting it.
Oh,
you can bet it if you want to bet it. Running backs have to put up Adrian Peterson record-breaking numbers on 16-game schedule. He had to put up
2,200 yards rushing, so he need another 1,000 yards in the next 6-7 games.
It's doable. I'm just.
And then he'll need another 11 total touchdowns to get him to 20.
It's a lot to ask for. We could revisit this at a later point. I just don't see running backs winning MVPs unless they have these absurd Sean Alexander, LaDainian Tomlinson 30 touchdown seasons.
Yeah. Hey, if the Colts want to make the playoffs, want to knock the Titans out, win the division, what do they got to do?
Feed the ball, JT.
JT, dog. JT.
No.
I don't hate the Jonathan Taylor, but I would take Jonathan Taylor over, Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, your boy Cup. You know what I'm saying?
Stafford and Cup.
Mahomes, Stafford,
I think Cup has no chance to begin with. You're right. Cup's. Do you know Cup's guaranteed to win? I'm telling you now, Offensive Player of the Year. I'll take Cup over Taylor for Offensive Player of the Year.
We'll see. We'll check outside of this. Let's move on to the next segment here.
Woo, we spent a lot of time there.
All right, we got the AFC Conference Finals. I have let me check my notes here.
I got Bills Ravens.
Bills Ravens. Yeah. Okay, I didn't think you had one. All right, I got Colts Patriots.
Let them explain. You want to explain a little bit?
Pretty much, I think Bills are the best team in the AFC. They've had some struggles. I like their defense. I like their coaching staff. I like Josh Allen, even with his bumps in the road. Diggs is a top-tier receiver. They were a team that was close last year, and they actually beat the Ravens in the playoffs. I like the Ravens because they're just a team that you never count them out. They're a stable franchise. They're always in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson, I love as a quarterback. I love the way he came back against the Raiders when he was doing by throwing the ball. They ended their rushing yard streak, but he did through the air. Hollywood Brown, if he's healthy, had a big season. Mark Andrews is still a great tight end. I don't know. There's something about the Ravens that they're a frisky team, and I'm not saying they're going to do anything special in the Super Bowl, but to get to the AFC title game, I think Ravens can do it.
So the Ravens are your Super Bowl pick?
No, actually, the Bills.
Okay. So I got Colts Patriots. I'll take my Super Bowl pick later. I think both these teams have the recipe to win in the playoffs, which is.
So you said Colts Patriots?
Yeah, Colts Patriots. Colts Patriots.
I'm with that deal.
Colts Patriots.
So, go on.
I'm telling you why. All right, so the Bills can't run the football. They can't, or they just won't. They just don't want to. Josh Allen has been exposed. He's reverting back to the year prior. The Colts are going to win their division. They're gonna.
Can I put this in the? I'm taking the Titans in the AFC South. These guys are both on the Colts all of a sudden. I'm taking the Titans in the AFC South.
Okay, we'll write it down, George. Anyway, I'm going to keep continuing my talk here. So I think the Patriots are peaking at the right moment here, and Mike Jones is gaining confidence, and they have the recipe to kind of continue to play more of a ball control offense, and their defense is coming around. Their defense last year, I think 7 of their starters opted out, same with their offensive line. So they have the recipe to just win and late in the season, especially if they can win their division. I think for sure they're going to make the AFC Championship game.
The Patriots?
Mm-hmm. The one thing to note, too, is we keep on bringing the 1 seed up a little bit. It's because there's for everyone to remember, the 17-game schedule now, there's only one bye week.
Yeah.
Not two. So that's why this is definitely important for the season, just to not have to play that wild card weekend. That's definitely important. George, what you got here?
I'll take a repeat of, was it, I think last year's AFC Championship, Bills, Chiefs?
Chiefs, yeah.
Yep, I'll take the Bills winning this time, though.
Shit,
Sticking with my
Bills.
preseason prediction, we'll go into who's coming up the NFC later. You know what I'm saying? You already know who it is. But, yeah, I think the Bills, you know, they're the Bills and the Chiefs defense.
Aaron, who you got?
You know, they're both good.
AFC games. Who you got? AFC title games.
Aaron, our fly fan here in the studio.
Well, my Steelers probably aren't going to be making the
He's got Steelers.
His Steelers are
He's got
trash,
Steelers
he
as a home
said.
pick. Who you got as a pick?
I mean, Chiefs are. I mean, that's kind of no question. I think
Steelers,
they're
Chiefs.
gonna come
Chiefs, no question.
He's got Steelers over Chiefs, the hometown pick of the Steelers over the Kansas City Chiefs as was that 4 straight years with the Chiefs, the AFC title game. And the hometown, Big Ben's last ride, just like Jerome Bettis. Get the guy Super Bowl on
He's
the
so
way
bad,
out of town.
dude. He's so bad. But, yeah, I'll take the Bills. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. I got money on the Bills versus the motherfucking Green Bay Packers. We shipped over the NFC,
We shipped
baby.
over the NFC. Let's talk about the NFC Championship.
NFC Championship. Packers over anybody. You know what I'm saying? It's probably going to be the Bucks. The Bucks, I think, are the second best team. You have the NFC West, the Cardinals, the Rams. Those are the top 2 dogs there. I think you'll see the Packers beat both of them in the regular season. Packers Bucks repeat of last year. They played twice. The Bucks exposed them in the playoff game, but the Packers did lead a second half charge. Packers are better than the Bucks. Packers know the game plan. You've been seeing it all year. They're getting the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hand in less than 2.5 seconds. How do you beat a fucking ferocious front seven? Get the ball out of your hands in 2.5 fucking seconds.
So I would say,
go Pack, go.
I would say I'll let you know mine is Packers versus Rams, and I don't I have to step in. And I don't think the Buccaneers are going to have the same luck that they had last year. They had luck and they played the Washington football team round 1. The Washington football team didn't have any other quarterback than Tyler Heineke. They won that game.
Heineke played good, though.
He played good. And then they lucked up and played the Saints.
For the third time. The Saints won the first 2 games.
The Saints won the first 2. So they lucked up and played the team for the third time. And Drew Brees had a noodle arm at the end of his career. He couldn't throw the football. Then Aaron Rodgers had a terrible game, and they still had a chance to win that game. Matt LaFleur took the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands.
There was also
Kevin King.
Yeah, that's his name.
And also Kevin King.
That's his name.
But anyway, like I said, I think the best 2 teams in the NFC are the Packers and the Rams. I think
Steal my thunder.
I think the Rams figure it out eventually. I mean, they'll figure out how to move, get the offense humming again. Sean McVay will make an adjustment. He's a smart guy. And then their defense is going to be better as the year goes on.
So you got Rams.
No, I'm not telling you why I have in the championship game. We get there.
All right, I'm going Rams Packers as well. I didn't realize that A2 was going that route, and definitely deflated me a little bit. I may have to change picks at a later date. But at this moment, I did write it down as my pre-pick. I can't change that now. It's officially on the sheet. So I have Rams and Packers. My thoughts are, when Aaron said the Patriots are peaking right now, I don't like that. I want a team peaking later in the season. I want a New York Giants Super Bowl run. I don't care what you're doing in week 11 or week 10. If you're safe in the playoffs, that's all I care about. So for me, the Rams are going through issues right now. They got exposed by teams that run the football. They're having the issues with Robert Woods gone now, with the interior pass rush by defenders coming at them. I think they figured that out. I think McVay realizes maybe this is a run game a little more. Cam Akers might make a return in the playoffs. The defense, they have the talent there. Von Miller joined the pass rush with Aaron Donald. Jalen Ramsey's still out there. I like Raheem Morris still calling plays defensively. I think the Rams figure it out. I like them as a lot. Against a homer pick, I'm a Rams fan. Then I have the Packers because they just smell the playoff team. I got a deep playoff run. When you have Rodgers, you're saying no pressure, I'm throwing the ball out quick. You have an elite receiver in Adams. Even without Aaron Jones, I mean, they have a 2-headed monster. It's ideal. But just having A.J. Dillon, he's been a guy who's impressed me more than anybody right now at the running back position, for like a guy that I thought was terrible to all of a sudden now be.
You really thought he was terrible?
I thought he was terrible.
Really?
And then
because he decided not to commit to Michigan.
I didn't even know that. I mean, Aaron follows the DMV recruiting more than I do.
It's not for the DMV, bro.
But A.J. Dillon's 240. I mean, he's the tank. He's guys built for Lambeau when it's like George 14 degrees out. And then and Green Bay's defense is the top 5 defense right now. So, I mean, I'm not sure.
Without their best 2 players. Without their best 2 can play.
Is Alexander coming back or no?
He'll be back.
He should.
So-
Him and Zadarius should both be back.
There you go.
soon, hopefully.
Zadarius is going to be your premier up front guy, whether it's rushing the pass or on run stuffing. And then Jair Alexander is the number 2 cornerback in football behind Jalen Ramsey. So to me, I definitely like seeing the Packers defense and A.J. Dillon, Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau and late in playoffs. So Packers and Rams for me.
All right, really quick, I'm going to address the chat real quick. This is a big live stream. If you guys listen back to the podcast, we're recording this live. Our buddy Jim McCarthy on Facebook says Bengals versus Broncos in the AFC Championship game. That's hilarious. That's a troll pick.
Yeah, come on, Jim.
That's pretty funny, Jim. Then he came with the Vikings 49ers. Not terrible.
No, that's terrible, Aaron. Get out of here, dude.
Not terrible.
That's fucking terrible, dude.
Not terrible.
Get out of here. The Vikings got lucky to get the Packers.
That's true. All right, so going on to the Super Bowl pick. Obviously, these two guys seem
Rams over Bills.
I would say he has Rams over Bills. George has Packers over Bills. And I have Packers over Patriots. So 2 people for the Packers, 1 person for the Rams. So we're all picking an NFC champion to win. My thing is, I think the Packers are the best team in the NFL when they're all healthy. They have the recipe to beat the Buccaneers, which is get pressure on Tom Brady, which they show they could do it. Besides leaving Kevin King on the island because he sucks.
He's so bad.
But they also have the running game with the 2-headed monster. They have the elite receiver. They have the veteran quarterback. The offensive line is getting banged up again.
Just copy and paste what I said.
Just copy and paste what he said about the Packers. that's just the reason to buy it. And I think Belichick finds a way to get back to the Super Bowl. He's motivated. I think his defense is going to show to be that Patriots defense you had in fantasy football 2 years ago when they're putting up double-digit points every
They
week.
are right now, too.
The Patriots?
The Patriots defense. So I have Packers winning, not Patriots.
But versus Patriots?
Yeah,
Versus
he's just saying the Patriots defense has been at elite level they were 2 years ago.
Yeah, so they're just finding everything out, and hey, maybe the one I should hire Stephen Belichick.
No, I actually think that what's his face? Patricia's on the Patriots staff, so you could try round 2 with Patricia.
I'd rather have Patricia than Dan Campbell, bro. He's so bad. This guy is terrible. Fire this guy right now. He's a fucking tight ends coach, man. Go back to the fucking Saints and toast their tight ends again. Their tight ends look better since he's been gone.
This guy's so riddle.
Fuck it,
man. Dude, let me tell you, the New England Patriots have a 0% chance of being New York. Aaron picks him in there. 0%. I'll bet the fucking house on it.
Bet the
house is on it, dude.
There's no George. There's no George. There's a reason why George isn't on the betting.
Like the Patriots are good. They're not that good. Chill out.
Hey, they can be like the
Titans are the Titans without Henry are better than the Patriots. No. That's how bad the Patriots.
You guys want to know how bad George is? This guy bet the Avs, I believe, -1.5. Currently down 3-0.
No -1.5. They are down 3-0. They're a third period team. Everybody knows that. We're hoping for a big comeback. Anyways, yeah, the Packers versus the Bills. I love how everybody is still dogging on the Packers. Like
no one's dogging on the Packers.
Everybody last week. Look at last week. 90% of people picked Dallas over the Packers. The Cardinals over the Packers. Dog, the Packers been without 3 of possibly their most 5 important players on their team this year.
Mason Crosby,
Bakhtiari. Mason Crosby has been asked. He's struggled. But Bakhtiari, Zadarius, Jair Alexander out most of the year. You get them back for the deep playoff run. You got Rodgers, you got Devontae. You know what I'm saying? You got an offensive line that's playing real good. They got 2 Michigan products, I believe, on their offensive line. Green Bay Packers making a deep run, winning the Super Bowl.
Can you name one?
John Runyon and
Junior.
John Runyon Jr., yeah.
Whoa, okay.
Just saying.
They got somebody else, all right?
Was it Glasgow?
No.
Is it Schofield?
Glasgow's for the Broncos.
Is it Schofield?
Mayfield, I think.
Mayfield?
Yeah, I think it's Mayfield.
No, there we go. Now, the more we
but I know they got 2. They're heavy on the Michigan offensive line.
We lost 3 viewers talking about the fucking Packers.
Yeah, but hey, go Pack, go. I'm betting a bank on him, you know what I'm saying? Plus 1,200 odds. I got him at $200. Go fucking Pack, go.
$200, eh?
Yeah.
All right. So now we can talk. We can talk about the OSU U of M game. That's the next on the docket here.
I gotta go piss, dog. I'm sorry, dog.
It's a shit show over here, boys. What we like to see. All right, so we got the OSU MSU game. We got a Michigan fan here, Ohio State fan here. All right, Michigan fan. He's over there for a reason. All right, so honestly, if we're looking at the game from a betting perspective, I like the over, and I like the Michigan plus 8.5. You can get them at 8.5. That's the highest you can get them. I like Michigan plus 8.5. I think this game is either going to be a field goal game or it's going to be a blowout. That's how I have it right now.
Yeah, I'm in the same situation. My hope is just that I'm not touching over under in this game. I almost think Michigan might try to do a little more ball control. Maybe Michigan State, the way they played was kind of like, okay, maybe we need Ohio State offense sitting for a little bit as opposed to just 70-yard bombs. Michigan's secondary also isn't very strong, which is a little concerning.
Which is funny if you listen to Braylon Edwards and Desmond Howard not Desmond Howard, Charles Woodson tell you the Michigan secondary is peaking at the right moment.
I think there's only one guy you can count on, it's Hill. Everyone else will make plays here and there, but also get burned here and there. Michigan is all about the pass rush duo. It's all about Aiden Hutchinson and Ajobo getting in the backfield.
So
if they play their best games this season against like a big if, but like if they play great games, not even best games, if they play great games and Hill just does his job to just take one of the guys out as best he can, whether it's Olave or whether it's Wilson, just do the best he can. I haven't seen Stroud really have – it's a test with Ohio State's offense and their blocking. I haven't seen him get knocked on his ass a little bit. So if Michigan can maybe rattle his cage a little bit, it's going to be a wild environment in Ann Arbor.
I can tell you it's going to be a crazy environment in Ann Arbor. One reason why you haven't seen teams get to Stroud because they start 4 offensive tackles. 4 offensive tackles. 2 of them play guard.
The one big thing is, like I said, Ojobo looks like he reminds me a lot of the prior Michigan pass rushers of just like breaking out in one season and going to the NFL.
Yeah.
Hutchinson, I'm telling you for a while, is going to be a top 10 pick. He got Ryan Kerrigan
top
vibes.
Top 5 pick.
Ryan Kerrigan vibes, he shows me. So if those 2 guys show out, the crowd on their side, they get a few stops early, just have that environment. That's the recipe for Michigan to stay in it. You need McNamara to do what he's doing, which is just consistent passing games. The big plays aren't important. The one wrinkle I loved last week on Michigan was having the freshman Edwards on the backfield.
Diamond Edwards, the West Bloomfield product.
He had about 150 yards on the backfield. I love it. I saw a lot of like angle routes, option routes on the backfield, like NFL-esque third down back, Ryan Sproles-esque plays. I'm hoping that happens for Michigan. I think it's the only way to keep it close. I don't want to see Ohio State doing to Michigan State, which just nobody wants to see that.
You won't, because I think if you do, you won't see C.J. Stroud not play the second half. And I think they're going to.
The biggest thing for me too is Michigan's just due. Michigan is due to finally win a big game. And the joke about Harbaugh, joke about Michigan, I get it. There's a reason behind it. But eventually, if there's so many chances you're going to win one, they've lost 15 of 16 to Ohio State. And this Ohio State team is very, very good. This Michigan team, to me, is a little bit different than prior Michigan teams because they have some resilience, some mental toughness. We saw it against Penn State. I thought they were dead after that late touchdown. We saw against Nebraska when they gave away the lead. They still fought back. So I'm thinking this team has a little more leadership, and then I think they have a recipe for just causing havoc. Just change like one strip sack here, one big interception or whatever, just change momentum of the game. They have the tools for that. I just hope it doesn't get a blowout early. That's what I think Michigan's done. If the crowd's out of the game, if they fall behind, they can't run the ball. That's the biggest issue. I select Michigan money line as a blind faith pick, but they're due.
So my thing is that as a fan of Ohio State, it's kind of like eventually the Michigan due to win one. I mean, like streaks are meant to be broken. I think that if Jim Harbaugh plays the way he played it against Michigan State, where he kicked 3 field goals, you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
You can't kick field goals. Against Penn State, they didn't kick any field goals. They scored 21 points.
Yeah, it's easier said than done. I just think Michigan has a chance to win this game.
The only way they have a chance to win this game is if they get the ball first, score first.
It's right to disagree there now, but I think Michigan's got to keep it close. The crowd's in the game. I think the biggest thing would be a stop first. If you get 3 and out Ohio State in the first drive, that's the most important thing for me.
No,
it gives you team confidence, gives the crowd confidence. The crowd's gonna be electric from the start. College game day's there, Barstool's there. It's a noon game.
Yes, noon.
They're both in the top 5, top 6. Michigan go to the Big Ten title game with this win. I think Harbaugh knows. Harbaugh knows how much this impacts him, the school, the players. He needs this. They need it. The boys ready to play.
Yeah. So I still think Ohio State wins it. So I don't really. I still think they win it.
I am very biased. I'll throw it out there, but I think this game is gonna be close.
And I'm a little hurt. You didn't say Jackson Smith and Jimbo. You named receivers. You named Wilson and Olave, and Jimbo's the best receiver. You know what that is?
Mr. Ohio State. We'll see how many catches he gets on.
You don't know who Jackson Smith and Jimbo is? He has more catches than Chris Olave and more yards.
Well, there we go, folks. You learn something every day. I learned Jackson Smith Schuster. Schuster.
I hope he
is going to light up Michigan for 17 catches, 317 yards, and 4 touchdowns right down first.
Over through his career. He's only a sophomore this year. He would have played last year, but Michigan ducked the game.
He was a 5-star recruit from the DMV, folks. He passed up. He had offers from Alabama and USC.
Yeah, he offers from Alabama and Texas. He's from Texas, number 1 receiver last year. And,
the number 1 receiver, Justin Jackson Schuster.
No, Jackson Smith and Jimbo.
Hey, I will tell you, I don't know shit about college football, but I know Ohio State. Very talented roster. More talented than Michigan, dog. You know what I'm saying? They should win it. I took them covering 7.5.
Yeah, I have a bet both ways. Michigan 8.5, and
the main logic, they beat Michigan State. They were 19.5 point favorites. No. Michigan State sucks, obviously, and they got a terrible secondary. They beat them by.
Michigan State has the worst secondary in college football. It was the worst matchup.
How bad did they beat them by though?
They could have scored 100 points.
That's why the spread versus Michigan 7.5 because they got a better secondary, they got a better defense. But I still see it as not a similar result, but
let's not forget too
20+ point victory.
The statue of Bo Schembechler that hails outside of Schembechler Hall was defaced yesterday. It's just disgusting. And Michigan boys will be supporting the football program here, and they will be bouncing back strong.
Do you not know the story about?
Yes, I do. We're not going to do this. It's not a political podcast.
I'm just letting you know.
This is not a political podcast.
It's not a political issue, though. It's a human rights issue.
Yeah, that's political, dude. This is a football podcast, dude.
Terrible defacing of Bo Schembechler.
Yeah.
Bo Schembechler's statue shouldn't be up anyway, like Joe Pies now.
Political. This guy.
Just saying. Anyway, I do think Michigan has a chance to keep the game close. But they won't win.
I can't tell which side this guy's on now. You see, you bet both sides in this game.
I did. I said Michigan keep it close. So I have Ohio State by 7.5.
This guy's a flip flopper. Just pick one thing, dude. I got Michigan money line.
Hey, if you're one of our 5 fucking live viewers, go Duke over Gonzaga. Gonzaga's not good. Paulo Banchero is the number 1 overall pick this year.
I said that too.
Go Duke. Boom.
So let's transition to the GG betting show. We got George here.
You know what I'm saying? We out here, y'all. Plus over how many units now? 40 minimum?
No, we're way over 40.
Way over 40, we say. That's how long I haven't been in
It's
here.
about 80 total right now.
Woo!
As a team here. We started week 0 college football. We're at about plus 80. I am not currently prepared for this, but we will run through it, live stream it, whatever. We'll figure it out right now. So
I think this best.
Aaron, you guys start this off.
If you guys are here, be sure to let us know your lock of the bets or your lock bets. We'll let you know the law firm dishes again. He said he'll be here this week.
Allegedly.
And
here's the thing, though. We don't give a shit about the law firm. We got a tip off in 40 minutes. Duke versus Gonzaga.
All right.
About plus 300 odds for Duke. I'm taking Duke. I'm taking the number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft next year to fucking show Chet what it is. He's more athletic. Chet's a little bitch. You know what I'm saying? Look at the guy's fucking joints. He's skinnier than Kevin Durant in college.
He really is.
Give me Paulo Banchero, dude.
Is he skinnier than Bull?
Yes.
Yes, dude. You don't see him. He's athletic. He's good. Paulo's better.
Yeah. So Paulo is a better player. All right.
Dude, what are you doing, dude?
Duke. I think the line is a little inflated for Duke. On the other side, or a little inflated for Gonzaga. 9.5. I think is too many points. I think Duke's pretty good. I think Duke's a better team than you.
That's a neutral site game, correct? It's me.
Neutral site game. I think 9.5 is a lot for a neutral site game.
All right, I'm going through all these off the top of my head now.
College football.
Yeah,
first.
college football off the top of my head here. So there's not a lot of research, and we will tweet out the official picks here. But off the top of my head, rip picks. Like I said, I already said it already. So Michigan money line plus 230 versus Ohio State. I will be taking that. I'll probably bet the spread too, which is 7.5.
You can get an 8.5 on Caesars or FanDuel.
Okay, well, there we go. I like as well Florida -3 hosting Florida State. Florida State's got a little better in the season, moved on, but they are still terrible. It's kind of a rivalry game. I don't know. I can't really tell how the Florida schools are rivals. They schedule each other. Don't schedule each other.
Florida State is a rivalry. For sure.
I just like the Dan Mullen, LA, had a tough loss. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, they had a tough
He's
loss.
fired, though.
What?
He's not there.
When did they fire him?
They fired him.
When?
Last week, I believe it was.
Okay, well, see, I missed at that tough loss now. So now I'm going to change this. Now I don't know. I will recap on this pick in a minute. I might have to recycle here, but this is not good. I thought Dan Mullen was still there.
This guy. Anyway, all right.
And we got
All right, so my one pick that I like this week is Oklahoma money line against Oklahoma State. I think this is a game that Lincoln Riley needs for his representation as being one of the better college football coaches. Oklahoma State does have a really good defense, but this is a rivalry game. It's Bedlam. Give me Oklahoma to win outright. This is plus 160 if you can get it on DraftKings. That's the best odds I've seen it on. Plus 160. Another rivalry game. We got the Iron Bowl. It's 20.5. So plus 20.5 for Auburn. I will give me the
Aaron
points.
says roll tide. Our fans got roll tide here.
Hey, I have my family's from Alabama, but I'm not an Alabama fan. But give me Auburn plus 20.5. I think that's a lot of points for this rivalry game. So I just take the points. And it will be a teaser play. So if you're following us on Twitter, watch out for our teasers because I will tease that up 6 points. I like my odds even better. I might tease that, them in Michigan with the points.
Two games that I just looked on when I'm scrolling through here I do like as well are going to be their higher money line games. That means you can parlay them down. But I have Oregon at home in the Civil War versus Oregon State.
Oregon State, who fired their coach?
Oregon had
no, they didn't fire their coach yet.
Oregon had a huge dud last week versus Utah. I see them bouncing back in a rivalry game. That still means a lot in the Pacific Northwest. I see them bouncing back here, solidify themselves as they may have lost the Pac-12 North at this point, but as this is still a huge game for them. It's a rivalry game. I like them. Money line, it's minus 275. Next game is for the Paul Bunyan's X, I believe. It is Wisconsin at Minnesota, minus 280. Wisconsin, yeah, minus 280 Wisconsin.
No, spread.
So Aaron's on the spread, so you can flip-flop the spread with the Oregon money line. There you go for parlay right there.
The reason why Wisconsin needs this game, they needed to clinch the West.
So they can play Michigan in the Big Ten title game, which is very important to many of us here.
Just one person here. So I like the Notre Dame spread, 20.5 against Stanford. Stanford's terrible. Stanford's probably the worst team in college football. They just don't have any players because their academic standards are too high. So give me Notre Dame minus 20.5. Notre Dame needs to run out the points to try to get in that playoff picture. They're one of the first teams out, hoping for it. I think Cincinnati won this week, so I don't think they had to wait for Cincinnati.
They won today.
They had to wait for Cincinnati losing their conference game to try to get into that playoff picture. So they need to show up, show out. This is their last game of the
last one I got is going to be another money line around minus 250. It's the UCLA, the Bruins at home versus Cal. Again, you can parlay those last three games.
They're minus 250? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cal's awful. UCLA with Chip Kelly's look pretty good. They got their quarterback back. He didn't play versus Utah, which Utah destroyed them. He came back last year versus USC. They put like 59 points. So I like the Chip Kelly offense. Those three games, again, minus 250 each one. You can switch to the Wisconsin spread if need be, but those are the games that I'm on right now.
Yeah, if you want to play those three, or you said Wisconsin, Notre Dame.
I didn't do Notre Dame. I said
I'm saying
Wisconsin, Oregon, and UCLA.
Yeah, you part of those three.
All three money lines. You're sitting at that's a plus 160 for those three money lines.
And
that's a pretty safe bet in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so. Like if we liked our easy peasy lock that we had last week, it was a 3-headed monster or 4-1, but
no teams are going to lose. But so same concept.
The only sweat I think was
Wisconsin,
Nebraska. But Wisconsin has a freshman running back who's 240 pounds.
He's a beast.
So they have another workhorse running back they can fall behind. Another game I like, Western Kentucky over Marshall. They're plus 100, even money. Pretty surprising they got even money.
I like it. Number one pass offense in college football.
There you go. I still think Ohio State's more feared. And then I like the over in the Kentucky-Louisville game. And I will take the over in the Wake Forest Boston College game. Even though
64 is the over for that game.
I just think
we've been betting the Wake Forest over a lot. So they just put up points. They didn't play defense. No, they're honorary Big 12 team.
And I believe so. If I'm gonna pull up Action Network really quick, but I believe the spread for the Georgia game this week is minus 34.
I don't know who they've been playing. Are they playing like the Citadel?
No, they're
South
playing,
Carolina.
They're playing an ACC game, ACC or not ACC, SEC team.
That might be South Carolina then. Is that Clemson?
I'll pull you up. And then also next week, Georgia versus Alabama. Alabama's getting 4, so I'm going to take Alabama money line.
That's about plus 150-ish, plus 180-ish, roughly.
Okay. Oh, so Georgia's playing Georgia Tech, and they're minus 35.5.
They'll or bet the team points Georgia Tech under. They're not going to score.
Georgia Tech bet.
They're not going to score any points.
Bet the team total under for unless they sit their players. That might be something you might want to watch out for because they already
clinched.
They already clinched the. The
SEC East.
SEC East. So
minus 100,000 money line.
For
FYI, Georgia.
No one's betting that.
100,000.
Yeah, you have to bet 100,000 and win $100. No one's betting that unless you're Mattress Mac.
All right, quick transition to the NFL here. This is kind of a really weird schedule.
So
because
the schedule is you see a lot of spreads. That's 2.5 and 3s in the NFL this week.
All the bad teams are playing other bad teams like Houston and Jacksonville,
all the good teams are playing good
Jets.
teams.
Yeah, and it's like the really good teams are playing the really good teams. The middle teams are playing the middle teams. It gives you a lot more options here because if you hit a few games together, parlayed, round robin, however you want to do it, there's going to be a higher payout. It's just, I remember you might be sweating a lot of these games out. We prefer to get some games that are blowouts or some maybe a tight upset game.
Yeah.
But all these games, we're not giving you a straight up like full guarantee. It's just we like the number where it's at.
And then some of these games might like for a teaser pleaser. You might take a
unofficial trademark.
Yeah, unofficial trademark. Like for instance, like you got the New York Giants getting 3.5 at home. I would like to tease it up to 9.5 because I think there's still a decent chance to win that game outright because they just fired their offensive coordinator. Those players
Jason Garrett.
Jason, who's terrible offensive coordinator. They want to show that they have premium players on the team. Kadarius Toney, Saquon Barkley. So you can tease them at 9.5, or you can take them outright at 3.5. I like that play.
I guess first play I like Monday Night Football. I'm going to jump to the latest game of the schedule, but Monday Night Football, Seattle, money line, minus 105, almost even money. I don't know. Russell Wilson looks terrible, but
road dogs coming across coast.
It's one of those games where you look at a team that's 3-7. Russell Wilson has been struggling, but they still have the talent there. Washington's nothing special. Chase Young's gone. I'm not worried about traveling to Washington or the crowd. I like Seattle just as a bounce back game. I don't see them going 3-8. It's basically an even money pick. If this game was 4 weeks ago when Russell was healthy, it would probably been -4 Seattle. I think it's a little bit of overreaction for the way they played the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And I will then take that as, again, I'm a bigger version of the mean guy. Give me Seattle at minus 105. That is my first play.
So, and I like the Seattle play. Just to let you know, Action Network, if you take Seattle plus the 1 point, 39% of the bets, taking 70% of the money. So a nice spread there. Some sharp bettors. And then money line, we have 72% of the bets for 86% of the money. So most of America is agreeing with us and taking Seattle. I think that's a pretty good game, even though they are coming across the coast. If this game is playing in Seattle, I think they'll be favored by 4.5. But since they have to cross country, they're going to discount that play a little bit.
My next game is going to be a game of the Snickle Fits that we talked about. That is going to be Atlanta at Jacksonville. And Jacksonville is plus money at plus 110 at home. Love some home dogs. So I will go with them. Again, even with the struggles of Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence together, Atlanta looks just as bad. They've scored 0 points with Cordell Patterson not playing. The whole issue with Ridley, Matt Ryan does not want to be there. You can look, he's just on his face every drop back. Jacksonville tries to be competitive here and there. They were versus Buffalo somehow, but I don't know. That's a coin flip game. Whoever's plus money, I'll bet on. So give me Jacksonville plus 110.
And I guess we're locked up on that one because I actually like that play, and I actually like this play because I'm going to fade the public on this one. The public is on Atlanta, and I think the public is just trying to take in effect that Urban Meyer and Jacksonville Jaguars aren't a well-coached team, but I think they have the most talent on the side of the ball, and their defense is playing better than they have been in the past. So
next one, I got Patriots -7 versus the Titans. I wish I'd have bet it earlier. It's by like 5.5. The A.J. Brown's officially rolled out. Without A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, and Derrick Henry, the Tennessee offense is just not good whatsoever. We even saw it last week when A.J. Brown to locker room versus Houston. I don't know who they're going to throw the ball to, who they're going to hand the ball to. It's a lot of pressure on Tannehill. He's more of a game manager, but he's like that category. And the Patriots, as Aaron said, are red hot right now. Belichick has that defense in all cylinders. They're healthy. They look like an elite defense that we've seen from the Patriots in the past. At home, and you throw it to Belichick versus one of his disciples and Vrabel, I think this is a game of the Patriots. And they remember, I think the last time they played was a time when Vrabel Belichick with like the punt rules and wasting the clock and stuff. So I think it's going to be a little blowout here for the Patriots, -7.
A game I like this week, give me Indianapolis over Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay is due for a loss here. The Colts defense is a really good defense. It's kind of underrated in the NFL. They have the recipe to kind of get pressure on Tom Brady, stop the running game, and make Tom Brady throw the ball 40, 45 times. And even though their strength is stopping the run, I still feel like the Colts offensive line is healthy. There's no one on the injury report this week. So their offensive line is healthy. It's probably one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. They're going to create the hole for Jonathan Taylor, and they still have Marlon Mack and still have Nyheim Hines. And their receivers are underrated. Michael Pittman Jr. is another guy we didn't mention in the fantasy portion.
He's had a nice breakout season.
Pretty good year. And Carson Wentz is playing pretty well, not turning the ball over as much. Still doing some Carson Wentz shit out there, but he's definitely taking care of the football. And I'm kind of fading the public on here as well. The public has Tampa Bay -3 at 70% of the money with 69% of the bets. But the money line is pretty almost split with 57% of the bets going towards Tampa Bay and 43% going towards Houston, but the sharp bettors, or not Houston, sorry, on Indianapolis, but the sharp bettors on Indianapolis like I am. So I like that play. Yeah, and that's another teaser pleaser. You can tease them up because they're underdogs at home. So you can tease them up to 9 points.
My last game is going to be Chargers -2.5 at Denver. I don't think Denver's very good, even with Melvin Gordon and Courtland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy and Javonte Williams all healthy. They had a bounce-back week. I believe it was last week where they had a win. I just like the Chargers. I think they're a playoff team. This is a game you have to win as a playoff team. You should win by a field goal. That's what the spread is. So my 4 plays this weekend for the NFL are going to be Chargers -2.5, Seattle money line, Jacksonville money line, and New England -7.
All right.
Anything else? You got any player props ready to go, or is all you got for today?
So I mean, I need to look at the player props. That might be something I might have to tweet out, Sunday morning. Which I'm gonna try to get them out early.
We'll get some parlays and teasers for
definitely some parlays and teasers out there. That's definitely some teasers. I'm working on a little teaser. 2 players I like right now. Colts, like I said, in the one part of the teaser. And then the first team I said was the Giants in another part of the teaser. So you can those are both home underdogs. You can tease them up to 9 points. These are a 2-team teaser right there, and I think that's -120. I think if you tease those 2 teams right off the bat, I can't remember exactly the odds on if you just do a 2-team teaser. I think it's 180 maybe. Or
it's very close even money, but yeah.
Yeah, it's very close to even money. So you can tease those 2. You can add another team in there. I mean, if you want, like I can tell you right now, I might do a 3-team teaser. Giants tease up to 9.5. Indianapolis tease up to 9. And then I'm gonna tease down New England down to 1. And that'll be a 3-team teaser that I'll probably play. I can tell you that right now. That'll be a teaser I'll play for sure.
Any futures outside of George is already hammering the Rodgers and the Packers. Outside of that, I think we pretty much nailed it through our the earlier roundup table. And as I said, any other plays we will officially post for you guys and get some parlays and teasers going. But outside of that, those are the plays right now.
Yep, and that's
they will be tweeted out and track the Action Network. They'll be ready to go for you guys.
Yeah, Action Network, I get a little better at that. I'm kind of slacked on the Action Network. So, I mean, if anybody wants, we have a Google Doc with our plays. If anybody doubts our plays that we play, we play every play, we bet every play, and we have a Google Doc that we see. Eventually, if we build a little community here, we might let you guys in a little bit of a lot document.
See how the sausage is made for us.
Exactly. So,
like I said, plus 80 units as a team here through the first.
We started this
since
in
college
August.
Football week 0, so it's been a good start here. So
yeah, I mean, I've paying some bills over here.
All right, I guess till next week here. We will see you guys then.
If you guys are in the chat, ask a question, we'll comment. But other than that, for the episode podcast, peace. If you guys want to hop in the chat, let us know. We got a little bit for the Duke game starts. And we're going to get, watching this Duke game. George has some money on Duke, so hopefully he doesn't have to go DoorDash the rest of the week.
He's probably ordering some McDonald's right now, if anything.
Yeah, probably. Let's go back to the chat really quick. I know some people have already dipped out. Okay, so apparently it's Ben Bredesen. Is that Ben Bredesen the guy, or is it Ben
Bradenson? Yeah, he's from
Ben Bredesen, right?
I thought it was Bradenson, but Mike Bradenson. He's a
Guard.
Wisconsin tackle. He's from Wisconsin, went to Michigan, played tackle. They may have moved him in the guard for the Packers.
Yeah.
They may move him inside.
Yeah. Ohio State's offensive line, like I said, they have 2 tackles.
Are they all like 6'5" long arms?
They're all 6'6", like tall. They have one guy 6'8".
It's almost like you see like NBA teams. It's not about like, hey, you're this size, play position.
No,
it's like, hey, but the best guys in the field right now.
Yeah, you are our best offensive lineman you're gonna play.
You'll see even guys like Zach Martin, the best guard in football, or him and Quentin Nelson are. When they need him at right tackle, he stepped out and played right tackle. It's the same. It's a little different, but the really good guys can figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. This guy says guy on the right. I don't know what this is. Guy on the right looks like he spices drinks in the gay bar.
Wow, I'm getting attacked.
Is it me or is
I'm getting guy on the right's me.
No, it says guy, and then it says guy. Oh, you're right. Guy on the left likes to sell cars. All right. Hey, low key. I mean, I sell wine. I got pretty close to selling cars. It's
deals.
Long hours, man. Selling cars, just too long of hours. I didn't want selling wine. It's a lot better. Sean, you still here? You need some help with some bets. Hopefully, you've been following our bets, man. They're making some money. The liquor's flowing over here. This is definitely true.
That's actually more of an Aaron and George move than me. But
then we got Captain Kirk. P. Diddy says Captain Kirk. Kirk Cousins, honestly, he had a couple games where it's like you suck.
Only way again is the way they vote for MVPs is you have to have a record-breaking season or you have to have a team that's solidly in the playoffs. And even with Kirk's season, like if his team right now was like the Cardinals were, if they were 9-2 with the Vikings and he had those stats, I would say yes, agree with you. Right now, the Vikings are outside the playoffs, so they're in the hunt. He has to win the NFC North or really make a huge push here to get the MVP. They don't like. I'm pretty sure one year, Derek Carr did similar stats where it's like the TD interception ratio is not that important for teams 500. I'm not saying it's had a bad season. It's just those numbers aren't alone enough to overwhelm the MVP voters to give MVP.
You remember the bet I sent you? For the double doubles?
Yeah, it was Sabonis, Valanciunas, and
was this 3?
It was Sabonis, Valanciunas, and another solid big man.
Oh, is it? Oh, I didn't. Oh yeah. Sorry guys, we got a group chat going on. We sent our bets left and forth. We should just start fucking this.
Don't bet on Sabonis.
Well, he already has a double double.
Oh, good for him.
You just hate Sabonis. Oh yeah, I just need Valanciunas it's Nikolai. Oh yeah, Valanciunas has it.
Vukovic. I think it's his second game back. That's the third guy.
Vukovic. You know what? They fucked me. You didn't get it, motherfucker. They fucked me. They won't let me do Clint Capella.
Same game as the other game then.
No, it wouldn't let me even bet it. He didn't have a game that I bet on. His props went up, and his prop went up. So that bet lost. Vucevic only got 8 rebounds.
It's it.
Fucking A. All right, boys. That's it. Appreciate everybody in here. Unless you guys comment anything else.
Check at the bottom.
No, that's it. All right. Peace.